Y'all ain't ready, it's Jarrell, and we got the dance practice to not cute anymore. If you know me from YouTube shorts, let's just say I've covered this dance 3 times already. And I'm probably going to cover it again for the 4th time because I really like this song. Alright, it is what it is. I was waiting for the dance practice to be released to actually cover it. But, you know, I couldn't wait. And I like the fact that this choreo is pretty much the complete opposite of Jellius, which I find really funny, but I also love it. And also, right before we get into the reaction, I actually started streaming on Twitch again, and you can find me on twitch.tv/ladiesman5678, where I'll pretty much be playing video games, I'll be talking, and I'll probably do reactions on there as well. So if you ever want to be included in a video, possibly in the future, because I'll have chat up in the screen, you're more than welcome to follow me on there and hang out with me if I choose to do reactions live on stream. But I'm just saying, you know, I just started streaming again. Follow me, twitch.tv/ladiesman5678. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Oh my god. I didn't realize I was doing the head nodding thing with them. Okay, formation. The head ISOs with the level change there. Yeah, the choreo is really chill. There's still going to be their strong movements, but it's not going to be explosive or anything like that. There's going to be those speed changes, the fast movement, and then the chill movements in between. Hey, hey. Yeah, and I really like the way that they're doing their formations, so shout outs to the performance director. I like the levels here too. And I do like the fact that they're doing that head isolation thing from the very beginning of the practice. It's like a constant thing. I actually find it funny that they're doing the facial expressions on purpose like this, where they're basically mogging us the entire time. That part was sick. Let's go, ILLIT. Let's go. I don't know why, but I just like this song a lot. And now after seeing the choreo in its entirety for a dance practice, I think it's super dope because the formations themselves they're actually really creative for what the choreo is. And I think it was mainly more for dynamics rather than trying to do choreo the entire time. So yeah, you guys know we're gonna run it back. I'm gonna go and break it down for you guys. And yeah, let's get started. Let's get started. All right. So as you guys can see from the very beginning, we're gonna get this quick pose from everybody, right? They're facing away from the audience, and once they actually start facing the audience and they're mogging us, which is essentially the whole point of this song, because they're not actually, if you pay attention to their facial expressions or their facials, they're not actually smiling at all. Almost pretty much 90% of the time. I think sometimes within the choreo, I think maybe this part, they're going to be smiling a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to be mogging us the entire time because that's the whole point of this song and concept. Nice. So you see those head movements and also those shoulder movements. They actually do that throughout the entire time of the dance practice. That's the theme, or I guess that's going to be kind of like the constant movement that you're going to see throughout this dance, because I think that's how the choreographer wanted it and how they want to actually present this, or the performance director as well. This is a cool formation change that you could do pretty much with any group. We'll have a line right here, and then you can just start revealing members on the way down on whatever counts, and like pretty much kind of like a, you know, you push them out of the way a little bit to reveal each member. And what's important about that though is that you have to make sure that each member that does go out, they have to go on their specific counts to make sure that that ripple effect actually makes sense. See more of that head isolation movement right there. And what I really like about this too, and I think this is going to be an underrated thing where I think people won't really highlight, I don't know, that might just be my opinion, but is this moment right here. Now, this level change and the head isolation movement is actually pretty hard to do when it comes to making sure that everyone's going down at the same time, like the speed itself. Everyone has to descend down essentially at the same rate of speed while they're keeping that same constant movement with the head isolation. So the thing with this is it's essentially a polyrhythm because they all have to be on the same timing. The head isolation movement can't really, like, you can't mess that up either. And then you can't look like you're stumbling around when you're doing the level that goes down slowly. That's all I'm saying. I think this is a great moment in the dance practice, and this is literally 20 seconds in. Boom, 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 boom. And they even go back up slowly and again all at the same time. Yeah, so what I appreciate about this dance practice is we're getting more formation dynamic stuff from ILLIT rather than just having them do choreo the entire time. Yes, pretty much all of it is still dancing. What I'm trying to highlight here is them having to work together to create these types of pictures when it comes to formations, making pictures that do waves or maybe separating from each other, and then you have a group that's on one side and then they're focusing on the member that's being singled out on the other side, specifically in this moment right here. Watch, right? They're doing that head movement again as they do and throughout the entire dance practice, and they're looking at they're looking at Yuna. And I like how she actually does this in the opposite way. She catches up actually. It's very seamless, but she does catch up very, it's like very discreet. Boom, 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 boom. And what I'm going to point out right here, actually, and I think this should be her left hand or left arm. The way that this is being accented or being highlighted is when the members' heads actually go up, her left hand is also going to go up. So it actually makes this look up a lot bigger. Like we can see it much better because it almost looks like she's telling them to go up with their heads with her left hand, which I think is really cool. Very subtle, but I think it's just something to point out here. Even when she brings down her left arm, they're also going to go back to that same level with their head or their face to also match that. Nice. So I think the challenge with ILLIT here is the fact that they're actually having to use their bodies in a way where they're creating these type of abstract pictures where they have to almost kind of bend halfway like this constantly, and then also having this constant movement where they're doing this. And the one thing I'm going to point out with this dance, there's just a lot of boom, 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 boom. I think throughout the entire thing, there's always going to be something happening with the head, shoulders, and or hips. Right? And a level change of some sorts. So I think the difficulty of this dance is not necessarily the moves, but it's how they're executed and how you can create these pictures without struggling. Because the entire time, they have to be mogging us, right? And she's kind of smiling here, but I think that's the point of this part. But for the most of the entirety of dance practice, they're not going to be smiling. But again, the difficulty level of this dance, I wouldn't say it's too crazy. I think what makes it hard is all the formations, all the constant movement that you have to do, and also keeping the details as you do that, right? I'm not cute anymore. Even those head ISOs, super clean. Even this picture, look at that. Their heads too. Like, this is all important. So even if she had her head kind of more over here, the formation itself would look a little more messy if that were the case. See, even this slight level change here, I didn't see this in the performance film when I was covering it, just because there was a lot of close-ups, right? So they're even going down a level a little bit while they're doing that with their shoulders. Boom. I'm not cute anymore. Boom. Boom. Nice catch-up effect here. But the one thing I do want to talk about are the small focus changes that actually happen throughout the dance, or sorry, throughout the chorus. So I'll talk about it after this, but the hand thing, it's not just like a boom, it switches over. It switches fast, but then there's a texture change where you have to make it look like the hand got hit, or you're going through like thick mud to make it look like it's slowing down. So dude, it's hard to explain because there's so many of these things that happen in their choreo. And what's cool here is that I like that they're hitting those snares with their hips. Gotta that was bad. Yeah. And so here, I like how their heads are going to follow the arm or the hand that's pointing outwards. And also this is super minimal, but there is a slight initiation with the head here for the so it's not just going in to the head ISO, it's whoo. So think of it like that, whoo. And then they do it, whoo. It's that slight initiation, and that's the speed. Those are the speed changes that I'm talking about that constantly happen within their choreo. It's minimal, but they happen all the time. So even that, when they switch back to there's still that slight initiation. Even here, like, this is not a speed change or anything, but this part, everybody's clean, everyone's got the hands down, obviously. And then, but that head turn is also very important because they're resisting that turn. They're not necessarily just turning, there's a resistance to it. That's going to be kind of like one of the harder things to kind of see if you don't watch dance all the time, which is completely fine, which is why I do these. And yeah, there is a slight resistance to it. So this is the only time they probably only smile or somewhat smirk. Yeah, they kind of let themselves go a little bit. And in here, they do also have to make sure that the timing for all these hands meet up at the same pathway, or they all have to take the same pathway and end up at the same destination. And also, when you get to here, right, that last part, the very end of the pathway, they also do have their hands open. I've actually done it where I've had a take where I didn't have it open at the last second. I had it closed, so that's what I noticed. And they also move their heads from here, from this space to where their right arm is. And there's that quick speed change again, right before they actually hit this shoulder movement. Boom. So yeah, it's like, yeah, dude, I did not expect this to be a longer-ish video. I'm explaining, dude. Another cool, I really like this reveal right here. It's, again, very chill, not a lot of movement. However, what's really important within this formation is bringing the formation dynamic to life by really committing to the movements here within the sides and also the back and the front to reveal her. Again, more of their shoulder movements, and then they're going to slowly look at us, at the audience. And then what I like here is that there is a clear levels here where we get the super low level down to the floor, low, mid level. They're both high levels, but you can tell is what I'm trying to say. More of the head movements. That was actually really subtle. I think this formation change here was kind of like they're going in this circle. They're going up, down, up, down, up, down. And they get into this next formation right here, right before the chorus. Yeah, the head isolation part might be the most satisfying part of the dance because they just do it all the same. Like, I don't know how they do it, but they go, whoo. You know what I mean? Like, they're like. Do you see how she starts mogging us again after? So everybody else actually isn't smiling for this part except for the person in the center. She smiles for a little bit, right? She's like, oh yeah, whatever, smiling. And then as soon as she hits that shoulder part, straight mogging. It's a good ripple effect here, actually. I didn't really notice this. Well, honestly, because the performance film had a lot of close-ups, so it was just harder to pay attention to. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, doom, 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 doom. I think it's on the want, 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 want sounds. I think that's the sound. Yeah. This is actually really intricate right here, these head movements, because this is all like on timing and they all have to look like they're robots here in this case. Doom, 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 and cut, and cut, and cut. More shoulder movements, more head movements. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, this dance practice I think is actually a lot harder than it seems. I think now that I went to go and explain it, there is a lot of layers to this dance where the movements themselves aren't necessarily the hard parts. It's the constant movements that actually happen throughout the entire dance with the head, the shoulders, even the formation changes, having to kind of bend a little bit halfway to create those pictures. A lot of what makes this difficult is how you're going to control your energy throughout certain parts of the dance. What makes it difficult is making sure that the speed changes are down, the textures, the sharpness of some movements, and when to relax. In terms of the actual moves, they're pretty simple. It's just that how you execute them is going to take it up to the next level type shit. Yeah, I mean, now that I see the dance practice, I'm gonna cover it again. It is what it is. I like this song that much. All right. But anyway, ILLIT killed it. I'll see you guys next video.